Damn you, HLC. I just wanted to do a video for the fat electrician explaining why the Spanish didn't have Australia on the map from Mission San Jose. But no, you had to throw the Australian social media ban for under 16s into your latest video. So here is my unsolicited 2 cents on the social media ban. I mean, hell, my mother just wanted a back rub, but here I am. So on with the show. You could have done the ghost bat. I mean, it did its first live fire test the same day, but you probably already had the social media ban in your notes. So I'll look forward to the ghost bat in your next video, or Australia just be building stuff with American companies or something. Back to the social media stuff. It's not all social media, just the main ones that parents would have known and been able to control. Actually, old Snapchat, not my place to tell others, but if I had kids on there, they might be getting a downgrade on their phone. But I don't think I have the right to tell other people how to parent. Reddit is just centralized all the old forums we used to be on to one location with crappier formatting. Actually, no, it's pretty much no formatting. Just everyone screaming into the void. It's difficult to follow a thread to have a conversation because it's just all the topics in one feed. Again, you do you. Reddit has some 18 plus restrictions, I think, but I'd want my kids having some online stranger danger awareness before they're playing there. Twitch and Kick. I mean, look, we could quickly get to a point where we discuss politics and social structures, capitalism, what do the kids have to offer of value, or socialism. Bad news, bucko. You're working for all the free stuff you think you should be getting. And, you know, maybe we could even progress a little and give a little sample of a gulag. A bit of, would you prefer authoritarian rule or individual liberty? Do you want to be micromanaged and have to present your homework and progress on assignments before you can do anything considered entertaining? Or do you want to be trusted to do your own time management? And if the school calls and says you haven't been doing your homework, well, then you've just decided the authoritarian rule to get back on track before regaining trust through extra side projects. Sit at home. I know, I'm a jerk. I'm here to make you a contributing member of society who will succeed by outworking others. The ideas you'll encounter aren't necessarily dangerous, just you only got the glossy brochure. That doesn't show the full picture. Let's look at some history books. I know, boring, right? But let's look at how successful these things have been in the past and maybe learn a thing or two. So how has Australia gotten to this? Well, we're in a downward spiral. In my voting lifetime, we've gone from having surpluses to the government wanting to increase the debt ceiling. That's just financial though, right? We let politicians act like Robin Hood, giving us stuff from the tax money we'd pay and thinking we're dumb enough not to see it. Back when we had a surplus, the government decided to encourage people to have kids. That PM won an election on children overboard. He also tried to get the constitution changed to say we were a country founded on Christian values. It probably wouldn't be hard to suggest the baby bonus was about increasing the population without taking in immigrants. So immigration from 2014 through to 2024, the immigrants from countries above 0.9 on the Human Development Index is down, and immigrants from countries below 0.8 and 0.7 on the index are up. Oh my God, how racist. Sorry, it's just facts. Recently, there's been a video from around a year ago popped back up of someone squatting on the curb in Adelaide in broad daylight. Also in 2024, a public pooper in Chapel Street, Melbourne, in daylight, squatted between two cars and dropped the kids off at, well, not the pool, but in the street. I don't care the skin colour, accent or faith, but come on. A drunk piss when you're busting at night in an alley or a garden when you absolutely have to, while between pubs or staggering home? That's the Aussie way. Public pooping, it's just frowned upon and makes the news in negative ways. It's a joke, people. Yes, I have actually walked the streets of Darwin. We're also super in love with bureaucracy and working for the government. We're now at a point where over 50% of the workforce is dependent on the government via a paycheck or contract. So whoever promises the most free stuff or government programs gets in. Yep, it does look a lot like voting in socialism. So back to the story of this stupid legislation they rushed through in under 2 weeks with no clear outline of how it would work. They introduced it on the 21st of November 2024. Well, actually the previous government suggested something similar in 2023, but it got killed off in August of 2024. And then on the 24th of November, they killed the Misinformation Disinformation Amendment to the Communications Act, which would sort of give them the ability to censor social media. I wonder why the previous government tried introducing that and the current one only gave up because it was getting far too unpopular. So they couldn't get a bill to control what's on social media through without becoming too unpopular. So instead they're trying to control who accesses, and strangely, anonymity can be removed by shutting the account for appearing to be under 16 and having to prove you are old enough. But to get it rushed through, think of the children. 12 children are cited as being bullied online and having opted out of life. Damn, if only there was a government body that did stats on... Oh, wait, there is. We've already used them for the immigration stats. All right, so in 2022, there was 77 people between 5 and 17 years old who opted out of life. That's down on 2021 and 2020 with 114 and 101 respectively. In fact, the lowest number in the last decade or so. Well, that's not going to be a good argument. How about we trot out the families, get them on the media to tug at the heartstrings? That's not ghoulish. Remember what Australia was doing in 2020 and 2021? If not, Battleground Melbourne is a decent watch at home, and you might be able to see how the most livable city in the world got a trial run of communism. Dictator Dan even got to be in the family photo. No one is really covering the next step. Between Christmas and New Year, ID will be required for search engines if you logged in. So for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So logged out searches, or go to a smaller search engine that they're not trying to apply pressure to yet. Or maybe just let me try something. Hey Siri, are you able to do a search? Or what about ChatGPT? At Grok, are you able to provide me with information without asking for my ID? I don't mean to mock an outdated law that hasn't come into effect yet, but, well, let's just say the $40 million budget of the eSafety Commissioner's department probably isn't being spent well. The kids can still play Roblox to meet new friends and even hang out in Discord. I'm sure the parents that were parenting are super happy the government has decided to step in and have them use YouTube not logged in. I mean, Grandpa Buff might teach them some new terminology. So the government is trying to position itself to monitor everyone. Strangely, after Mr. Wannabe Sovereign Citizen, you know, the guy who had his hand out to the government for welfare payments, don't sovereign citizens want no government? Anyhow, Mr. Entitled Welfare Bludger allegedly took the actions that resulted in 2 police officers dying. So the police in another state decided to compile a list of around 1,000 people with sovereign citizen views and decided to pay them all a visit. 70 were licensed firearm owners. 7 got charged for incorrect storage, but 44 licenses were suspended and 135 firearms were seized. Now, why so many? Well, no idea. I mean, after seeing kids taken from parents and a mother in her PJs arrested for a Facebook post, could it have been maybe some online comments? Possibly, but that's just speculation. But almost 1,000 people have the cops rock up and no assaults, no resisting arrests. The main point of the article is 7 charged, 44 licenses suspended or cancelled, and 135 guns seized. And these people are meant to be sovereign citizen types, and there was no charges other than the 7 improper storage charges. Do you know what is actually an improper storage charge in that state? Leaving the bolt in, or not breaking the action, or not having the right number or size of bolts in the right locations to bolt the safe to the wall and floor. I can honestly tell you my under-over shotguns for target shooting clays have the action closed, but I'm in a different state where that's allowed. So we're going to be monitored more by the government. As a licensed firearm owner, I'm already on extra lists. Is this the hill I'm looking to die on? Nope. As I said, downward spiral. The more people that get tired of the authoritarian government, the more ability we have to vote our way out of it. It's going to have to get a lot worse before we get enough people that want to find that way out. If you look at Argentina, there is hope of getting change by voting. If you look around at things going on in Australia, you can see that Friendly Geordie did great investigative journalism to expose the actions of the former Deputy Premier of New South Wales. Sure, Geordie did say he'd have been more authoritarian during the pandemic on a podcast, but it might have just been in jest. There's also punter politics and Chris Kohler and the Juice Media all make content shining a light on how things are being run here, and plenty of people aren't happy with how things are running here, especially this week where we have gotten to see yet another lot of travel rods getting exposed. Does anyone out there work for a business and expect that business to pay for your family to travel with you? How many FIFO workers are getting their family flown with them if they're off to a conference because you can't really take them to site? How many folks leave a taxi sitting waiting while they attend long meetings? Yet this is all being justified. Even a politician married to a lobbyist appears to have flown the lobbyist to work. Good thing the taxpayer is picking up that bill and not the lobbyist, but appears to be within the current set of rules. It's only a rort if you're not in on it.